Hello everyone, today's map is Plaza, so before I begin, let me just mention that Sharpshooter is a game mode that involves putting together kill streaks, and the best way you can do this is to control an area with knowledge of respawn points. So, before I go any further, let's get into those spawns. There are a couple of imperative spawns which make this spot so tremendous. There's one at the back courtyard, there's two around the information centre, there's two by the jewellery corridor or by the side of jewellery, and there's two in the shop called Debo. Possibly the best thing about this spot is the fact there's only two routes to reach it. There's one up the ladder, which is the route people spawning from the information centre will usually take, and there's also up the flower pots, three mantles, which is the route people spawning jewellery corridor and Debo will take. Now I spawn in and the instant reaction is, how am I going to get to this spot? And it's probably the best bet is to go with the ladder, and the reason why is it only takes a matter of seconds to get up, whereas compared to the mantle seems like it's taking forever because there's three of the mantles rather than just, say for example, two on express. And now the further disadvantage of going the mantle route is that you cannot see the person in this spot if there is anyone, and also it takes so long and you can just get shot from everywhere, whereas the ladder is quite quick and easy to do, and you're not open to as much gunfire because it's a little bit more protected in that way. So if you do have to tackle somebody from this spot, I would recommend staying very far back from the ladder and trying to catch the person off guard. Now we come on to the next weapon in rotation, which is the ballistic knife. This gives me a perfect opportunity to talk about the knife rounds in the spot, and I would have to rate it an 8 out of 10. And this is because there's only two entrances, as previously mentioned, and this means you can easily isolate your traffic. And to get up to you, the people have to put away their knife and climb up or mantle up. And this means that you can just easily pick them off as they're coming up. However, this guy does manage to get up because I wasn't looking at him. However, it is a 1v1 fight, which is good in a knife round because it means you've got probably a 50-50 chance depending on how good you are at knifing. For me, it's probably less than 50-50 because I'm a bad knifer. But it means no other people can get up and you're not swarmed, and which usually ends in a death. Well, always ends in a death for me because I'm a bad knifer. And now I'm going to talk a bit about explosive rounds in Sharpshooter, and for this spot again I would have to rate it a very high 8 out of 10, and this is because it's got no roof to it and you've got an elevated position. So one of the main things they would usually do is fire up and hit the roof and kill you, but because there's no roof they can't do that. However, at each peaking spot there is walls either side of you, which means people can ricochet stuff off that, which can lead to you getting killed when you're trying to peek people. So for that reason, that's why it's lost 2 points and not got a perfect 10. Right here you see me dropping down and killing this AFK guy. Now I also do this for people who've just won their gunfights because they'll be weak at the time, and you might think it's a little bit reckless, but dropping down when somebody's weak and have little health, it's actually in your favour, and it really does help rack up more kills, and also it helps to get people to spawn and come back for you. It just does help a little bit in the long term, but only do it if you're the only red dot around. So if it's just you and the guy who's weak, then do it, but if there's more than one person there, don't bother. So for example, in this front courtyard area, there's a lot of people having a gunfight. Kill one person off and it's all clear now, and then kill this person trying to mantle up, but then they all respawn and run back. So I wouldn't drop down because there's three of them. I kill one of them off who's killed somebody else, and then I drop down and pick off the third, and that's a perfect situation there of just cleaning up the remains of other people's fights, and I do actually come out on top right there. Now, I want to talk a bit about what guns are suited to the spot, and generally it's the slower killing SMGs. Because you've got such an advantage on people, you can afford to basically kill with pretty much any gun, and the slower the better, and that is the reason why it's so the slower is because other people can't kill you really fast and catch you off guard. So you might want some of the slower killing SMGs like the Shacum, or probably the assault rifles, or the pistols are really nice. Snipers you do not want, and the reason why I'll show right here. So if they spawn at the back in the sniper rounds, they can easily jump between this rock and palm tree and head glitch the living daylights out of you, and it's very difficult to see these guys. But they can also stay at the back if they don't know the spot and just catch you unawares, which is why it's very important to be wary of these guys. During the sniper rounds particularly, you've got to stay very far away from open spaces and just kind of play it cool. So LMGs are also good for this spot, it doesn't really matter which ones. Finally, I'm going to talk a bit about this real strategy behind this spot. So you may have been wondering, why are so many people climbing up the ladder over and over again, constantly towards your death? It's certain death. And I will give you the best tip I can give you on this map. And so if you've stayed till this part in the video, then I commend you, because I've saved the best tip till last. What you do is you pretend you're looking out towards Debo, and this is UAV trickery to its best. So you're positioned by the mantle window, but instead of being positioned looking out towards Debo, you turn round and face towards the ladder. And it's also a good idea to prone so people can't see you. And so they spawn at the back, they see the UAV sweep, they see a red dot overlooking at the mantle, and they think, great, I'm going to catch this camper off guard, I'm going to climb up this ladder. And then they climb up the ladder and they get their heads blown off. And so here what I'm doing again, just lying prone, waiting for the UAV sweep. If they're not coming up, if they're going away like that guy is, it's a good idea to turn around and make sure people aren't mantling up, because they do suss out your tactic eventually. So yeah, just basically lie here prone, wait for people to come up the ladder. If they don't, turn around and kill the people behind you. And it is amazing. I got my best 35 gun streak here. 35 kills with guns. That is my all-time personal best. Don't know about you guys. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, I implore you to like the video. It is just so much. So there we go, 35-0. If you haven't already subscribed, I do recommend you do so. And also, if you want to see the other sharpshooter camping spots, Express is in the description and as an annotation on the screen. Goodbye everyone, have a great day.